Howdy, and welcome to A Texan Shaves. Now, you're probably wondering why I was looking off to the side. Just a little joke, inside joke between me and Sig Solo. He called me out today and said, "Hey, I love your videos, your content's great, but do me a favor, look at the lens." And I agree, I've been slacking. I used to be pretty good at it, and then when I switched back to using my phone from my Sony camera, which has a big lens, it's nice and easy to remember to look at. I've been used to just looking at myself because, you know, I'm just so good looking, right? Kidding. But so call me out, guys. If you see me looking at the screen instead of looking at the lens at you guys, let me know. So I'm gonna do my best to do that this video. Welcome to John Frum Day. Amazing. There's going to be all kinds of excitement today with Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. There's a Shave of the Day contest, $25 gift card. Deadline is today, so make a unique Shave of the Day photo and get that posted, I believe, on the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements fan page. And if you're not a member of that, hit me up in Messenger or something, and I'll get you invited, or just go find it and join it. I'll put the link to the PAA fan club in the description below. Doug, Fran, and Hux are trying to make this an annual thing, so this is the first one as far as the contest. So I think that's awesome that we'll have an annual celebration for John Frum Day on Valentine's Day. So of course we are going to be shaving with Praise John Frum. Wonderful. This to me is probably one of the best modern musk fragrances out there. It is incredible. We're going to go over all that here in a little bit. I do love it. I do have the aftershave, and I purchased this a long time ago. For those that know, and if you know, you know, Brian Foley just kept telling me I needed to get this and needed to get this for months, and I finally purchased it, and he was quite excited when I did. I posted my mail haul, and he was like, "John Frum," you know, and I was like, "Yeah, finally, you talked me into it." But I'm also going to be using the limited edition Mysterium serum instead of the Star Jelly, which I do have, and y'all know how much I like Star Jelly. So I decided to go ahead and whip the lather up in a bowl. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of face lathers for quite a while, so I wanted to see if I could still bowl lather. And man, of course, as usual, I have way too much. Got a huge amount of lather here using a Sawdust Creations. I figured this might match well, the yellow for the label and the wood for the wooden crate. And we're going to talk a little bit about wooden crates today as well. We're going to give a little story and a little bit of a history lesson. I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to remember to look at the lens. I'm being conscious of it. Thank you, Sig. I appreciate it. So I believe that's it. We're going to be using the stainless steel Ascension. I put the yellow bomb tip on to match everything, make everything kind of matchy-matchy. Using a First Use Treat Platinum, one of my favorite blades. Haven't used them in quite a while. I always have a ton of these on hand. They're so cheap, dirt cheap, wonderful, wonderful blades. So let's get the glasses off. And I'm running out of places to put my glasses. This should be all right there. I'm going to get the face wet. And I did not get a shave in yesterday on the face shave, so we're doing about 2 days worth of growth here. Now I'm going to remove a lot of this from this brush because this brush is super loaded. Otherwise I will be, as you know, flinging lather everywhere. And here we go. Such a wonderful scent. So the scent profile is Sicilian Cedrat, black pepper, sea salt, ambergris, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, kava kava in the aftershave, and vetiver in the soap. They're very similar scent notes. White musk and animalic musk, and kava kava, look it up. It's a really interesting ingredient. And read the sales blurb. I'm not really going to go into it because Douglas explains it best, and it's a really funny story. So be sure and check out the sales blurb on that portion of the fragrance note. And I just read through it again. It's like my third time to read it because it is a funny story today before I did this video. But once he got the fragrance, he said it has to be like a cousin to vetiver, so it's very similar. And this knot is still shedding some hairs, but that's okay because I do like this knot a lot. If you know, I've been using these 70-30 mixes for a while, and they've become a favorite brush knot of mine. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Some of you who have never heard of this soap, which I'd be surprised, this is quite popular Phoenix Arts and Accoutrements soap. But you might be asking, who is John Frum? And I believe in the sales blurb it says, who is John Frum and why should I praise him? So that's a good question. John Frum, as Douglas puts it, is essentially a god. Now, don't go off on the deep end. Let me explain. So in the 1940s, there was a phenomenon known as cargo cults that was created from the war between America and Japan. We were at war in the South Pacific, and each forces were occupying many islands. And these islands served as like refueling points and way stations for the war. And let's get the shave going instead of me just talking. Really like this razor. I say that all the time, I know. So the island of Tanna was occupied by Japanese forces first. And after they were run off, it's led to believe that a few American troops, flyboys, landed to inspect the island to make sure the coast was clear. And after deciding the coast was clear, then they signaled in for cargo drops to build the base and to bring in more troops. The natives were amazed at this. They saw gifts falling from the skies in the form of cargo crates, of course, but they saw them as gifts because of the things that came out of them. And they saw the soldiers performing strange rituals to summon these crates, these gifts, in the form of flares and semaphore and other ways that they would communicate to bring in these supplies and cargo drops. So, thus, cargo cults were born. There were many of them, from what I understand. But as far as the name, John Frum, it's likely that the soldiers introduced themselves as, "Hi, I'm John Frum," and then they would say their city or state which they hailed from. But the natives were just so enamored with everything going on that all they registered was John Frum. So hence the name John Frum is how it's led to believe the name was born. There's a lot more to it than all this. I'm giving you the Texan Shaves Cliff Notes version of it all. But there's plenty of stories out there and YouTube videos just talking about cargo cults themselves. In fact, there's one that Douglas linked where it's the island of Tanna and they're playing a song that is like praising John Frum himself. And I'll link that video in the description as well. And it's like a ritual song. So, should say John Frum instead of right? The rituals go on today, from what I understand. It's a really, really interesting story, piece of history. A weird and strange, inadvertent result of wartime. And there are many other crazy stories of things that happen like this, but this one was quite interesting to myself as well. I really enjoyed learning about this. In fact, I discovered this whole cargo cult stuff. I never knew about it until I read the sales blurb about John Frum. So thank you for the history lesson, Douglas and Fran and Huxley. Let's get the face wet and go for the second pass. So as I said earlier, I find this to be one of the best modern musks. And it does have like the DNA of like a 60s or 70s type musk, but man, it is so much more. So much more. It's got a modern twist with a lot of the notes. It's definitely a compliment getter. I can tell you that. Whenever I do use this and wear this scent, it's noticed. It's noticed every time. This one, I would wear at the office, and I have. I would wear this out on a night out. This one is universal in my opinion. I don't think there's any season or occasion where Praise John Frum would not be acceptable in. Scent strength for me, both off the tub, lathered up, both will, off the tub, lathered up, and the splash, and I don't have the EDP, I plan on ordering that today. Is between a 6 and a 7 for me. My daughter actually rated this an 8 as far as her liking it. In fact, she requested that I pick up the shampoo puck for her. She enjoyed this scent so much. But that will be for another day. I'm not going to be ordering that today because she is loaded up with shampoo pucks. When we made our list, and I think I've told this story, that there was a point where I decided to not blind buy from PAA because there was just so much there, that I bought the sample aftershaves of everything they offered, every fragrance they offered that I didn't already own. Spent about $40-something just on samples. And my daughter and I spent 3 days going through them all. And we used the checklist that Phoenix Artisan has, and I marked off the ones that I liked, and I also marked the ones that she liked and wanted the shampoo puck of, and possibly even the soap. But if I had the soap already, she of course can use it. And that's where that started. And I created a wish list with all the flanker items. That wish list ended up being a little over 300 items at one point. I've since knocked that down of stuff that's not a necessity and stuff that I've bought, of course. But it's a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And again, Brian, thank you for twisting my arm and finally making me purchase this one. Finally listened to you. It was a while back when I bought this. I actually was worried I wasn't going to have this in time to shave for John Frum Day because I'd let Doug Lang borrow it. But it came back in a couple days ago. He'd sent it back just in time. So John Frum Day, there is a limited edition release. And if you've been paying attention on the PAA fan page, you know what I'm talking about. But there's more. And I'm not going to say, you just need to pay attention, but there are going to be some other limited goodies released today. So those of you that are watching this before it's released, you're going to be slightly in the know. Be ready with your apps open or at your computers or however you order your Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements products, because you're not going to want to miss what is dropping today. Whether you're a fan of John Frum or you haven't ever tried it, now's the time to try it. If you're a fan, you're going to be excited. And we all know Brian Foley. Did I say Brian Frum earlier? It's hard not to, just because of everything going on with him and John Frum. But Brian Foley, we know he's going to be very excited with everything. I was telling Douglas I think this is going to be a pretty exciting weekend. He wasn't sure, but I think it's going to be a bit bigger than he expects. Man, this scent is so good. All right, gonna get a rinse, come back up for the aftershave and my final thoughts. Be right back. All right. Those of you that may not be fans of musk, I highly, highly, highly suggest getting the sample of this. It is so different. So much different than you're probably imagining it. Use your words, Barry. It's a lovely, lovely scent. And like I said before, I am glad I've added this one to my collection. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of the limited edition, and I believe if you saw Black Friday, these were supposedly ultra limited and nobody went for them, but well, some people went for them, but last I looked, these were still available. It's a pack of 3. You get John Frum, Future Fiction, Atomic Age Bay Rum, and a bar of John Frum bath soap in a small travel dot bag that's clear. There were a few left. It was a surprise to Doug and Fran that they didn't sell out because they were so ultra limited, but they're still there. They will be gone once the last one's sold. So if you're interested, because scented Mysterium serums are uber rare. They don't happen. The only one I know that's out there currently that's a standard item is Black Shroud. So if you like Mysterium serum and you want a fragranced one, you can get 3 of them in these beautiful glass jars with a pump and good travel size. Other than it being glass, I would probably transfer over something else since it was glass. But yeah, check it out. See if I can get this pump primed. There we go. Doesn't take a whole lot. That's all I'm going to be using right there, just for my neck. Little goes a long way. Oh, it smells so good. All right. Now the good stuff. Had to prime that. Just put my sprayer on this one and just got it back. Put a spray in my hand there so I can get some. There's the sandalwood is sweet. That musk. The vetiver isn't. I think it's because the kava that's in here. I'm getting a little bit more of a citrus hit at the beginning, and then that musk starts bleeding through. It's a nice, wonderful, transforming scent. It's very tropical, maybe is a good word. I'm not sure, but man, I do love this one. It's so unique, so unique. It's unlike anything else I have in my collection. This one is so good. All right, guys, be prepared. Limited edition, special John Frum merchandise. Well, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement products are dropping today. Grab them if you want them. Find your peace in what and where you can. Find your peace, looking at the camera, Sig. Find your peace in what and where you can. We'll see you next time on the Texan Shaves. Goodbye.